Hey everyone, it's Kara here from Boho, and I'm back with a brand new video for you today. And this one is all to kind of show you how I have set up my brand new bullet journal, how things went for me during the month of October, which was my first month in this notebook, and then show you how I've set up for November. Now, normally I would have done a plan with me, but I really kept things super simple for November. So you'll see what I mean when we get there, but I thought it would just be easier for me to lay everything out on my own and then just do a little recap to show you what I've done. So to recap, for those of you that may not have seen my bullet journal method review video, that's Writer Carol's new book all about the bullet journal. I got that book about 2 days before my power went out completely for almost a week, and having no power and nothing else to really do, I kind of took it as a sign to play around, and reading the book really inspired me to get back into a paper notebook. So for the whole month of October, pretty much I've been in this paper bullet journal, and this is the 5-year anniversary edition of the bullet journal notebook. And these were released on the 5-year anniversary, of course, and there were only 1,000 of them, or 999, something like that. I think the number is in here. Yeah, 623 out of 999. So I decided to use this notebook because A, it's beautiful, and I wanted something kind of special to dive back into for my first time in a paper notebook in about 6 months. I think since April is when I started digital planning. And a little aside for all of my digital planners out there, I am still using my digital planner, and I'm going to shoot a different video for you all to kind of update you on what's been going on there. But I'm basically using my digital planner for project management and kind of bigger overarching things like that, and I'm using my bullet journal for day-to-day planning. All right, so let's open her up and I'll show you what has been going on so far. So you can see my index here. I'm already up to page 34 is the last thing that I've written in here. On the first 2 pages, I have my future log, which I kind of started filling out. I haven't filled out completely, and I don't know. I don't really use the future log a whole ton. I do most of my future planning on my Google Calendar, so I don't know if I'll continue to update this or not. I don't ever remember to like flip back to it, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do there, but I wanted to set it up kind of following the traditional bullet journal way when I started this notebook. And another thing with this notebook is that I wanted to keep things pretty simple, using nothing but black pen. I have done a little bit of lettering for some of my titles and things like that, but otherwise I've kept it very simple. So this was my October monthly spread with my tasks, and you can see that I got quite a bit of them done in the month of October. I do have a few that I've forwarded over to November, and I'll show you that when we get there. And I just started right in with some regular dailies. Now, one thing that I really loved about the bullet journal method book is that it kind of inspired me to get back to a more traditional way of bullet journaling, and also being a little more concise in my rapid logging. So you'll see throughout that everything is pretty short and sweet on my daily lists, except for when I expanded on things. So for example, here I had a note that power wouldn't be restored that day, and then I kind of expanded on that right there. And then also this was a town hall meeting about the power outage here on base, and I took notes for that down here at the bottom. Up next, I have some planning that I did for our Seattle trip. I took a lot of inspiration from Ryder's book on this, and this page right here is something that I had never done before, but I really enjoyed it. So I created a mission statement for the trip, and I said I want to go on this trip so I can renew my relationship with Mark and by breaking out of our everyday routine and exploring somewhere new together, because Seattle was somewhere that neither of us had been. So that was kind of my mission statement for the trip. So that kind of guided everything that we did while we were in Seattle, was making sure that we were spending plenty of time together, me not working at all, and really working on our relationship and strengthening it while we were there. And then some questions to ask or things to consider for the rest of the trip. So destinations, where do we want to go? Activities, what do we want to do? Time, so flight time, local commute time, activities duration, and then a budget for flights, transportation, lodging, everything. And then on the right-hand side here, I just wrote down some ideas of things we wanted to do and places we wanted to eat. After that, I set up our itinerary. So this itinerary was created just based on things that we knew we were going to do, and the rest was kind of open time. And I thought about coming back and filling this in with what we actually did, but I decided to create another spread for it, and I'll show you that soon. This spread here, the bullet journal method, was notes that I was taking as I was reading the book. This spread here, I really, really loved his idea for a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 spread. And the idea is that you break down some goals into 5 years, 4 months, 3 weeks, 2 days, and 1 hour. So they go from very small immediate goals to 5-year goals, both on personal and a professional level. And once you have all of your goals written out in each category, you put a little star next to the ones that are most important to you and you want to focus on first. So I did that, and then you transfer those goals onto your daily or monthly log so that they stay kind of top of mind. All right, up next is a 30 Better Days spread, and this was another idea that I had from Writer's book. And the idea is that you ask yourself, what tiny thing could I do tomorrow that would make my life a little bit better? And you do that tiny little thing each day, and you're constantly just improving yourself little by little each day, which for last year, my mantra was to be a little bit better each day than the day before. So this was kind of very fitting and something that I was really excited to see in the book. And you can see that I kind of fell off around the 24th. This is kind of when we went to Seattle, and then getting back, it's just been a little crazy since we got home, but I am going to pick it back up today and write something in to keep going. And I might redo this spread for November. I'm not sure. I already set up for November, but now that I'm looking at this, I might want to transfer this to November and just start over from November 1st. We have more dailies. More daily pages, and this was one of my big projects, was to set up a dog station on one of our walls. So I wanted to set up these shelves with little hooks for their leashes and treats in the middle and everything. So I kind of sketched out my idea of what I wanted that to look like. And this actually was one of my 19 before 2019 goals for this year. So this is where I was kind of tracking what I purchased and where I got it. And then in one of these dailies somewhere, it shows where I actually completed that. Next, we have more daily pages, and then I decided to make a little collection of quick wins, little things that I could do around the house or work-wise or really anything that take a very short amount of time. And I did index this one up front for quick wins. So if I ever have like 10, 15 minutes and I just want something quick that I can do to feel like I accomplished something, I can turn to this list and kind of pick something and get going on it. Up next is my daily routine. This is something that I've put in every single one of my bullet journals, and it's something I flip to pretty regularly just to kind of get a feel for my ideal day. Now, of course, not every day goes exactly like this or as planned, but in an ideal world, this is what I want my day to look like. So my morning routine would be from when I wake up at 5 to about 8:30 once I'm done showering and getting dressed. And then I have a little bit of morning planning time, just kind of checking my bullet journal, seeing what needs to be done that day, checking my email, and then I spend the rest of the morning on content creation. And content creation for me is filming videos, filming tutorials, creating new products, writing blog posts, which I haven't done in quite a while, so I want to get back into that. Really anything that I'm putting out there is content creation. And then I have lunch and then admin tasks in the afternoon. So admin tasks are, things like paying invoices and customer service and other things like that. And then a final email check in the afternoon. And you'll notice that I have email check on here twice. For me, if I don't designate a specific time to check my email, I will be checking my email all day long to make sure I'm not missing anything, and it really hinders my productivity. So I decided to make a specific time in the morning, like right when I start work, and then right before I quote unquote clock out for the day is when I check my email. And then after the 5 o'clock mark, I drew this big line, and to me that's no more work under this line. So then I have dinner, family time, evening planning. That's where I set up my bullet journal tasks for the next day, do my trackers, things like that, and then going to bed by 10 to make sure I have enough sleep to wake up at 5 in the morning. All right, up next is my 19 before 2019 spread, and I really love the way this turned out. Like I said before, I wasn't planning on doing anything super decorative in here, but this was one spread that was kind of calling to me for a little decoration. So I decided to kind of hand letter each of my 19 goals that I want to accomplish before the end of the year. And then I ended up with all this room left on the bottom right hand corner, and I thought, hey, why don't I just rewrite them all in a simple checklist form and I can just mark them off as they're complete. And you can see I have quite a few that are complete already, and then I actually have a few that are kind of in progress. So launching the dark planners is something that I've been working on for about a month. A little bit more now. Those are almost done. The bullet journal meetup in St. Louis, that is already scheduled and ready to go. It just hasn't happened yet, so I haven't marked it off. Host Thanksgiving dinner. That's a big one for me every year. We always host a big group here at our house. One screen-free night per week. We've been adhering to that, both Mark and I, but I'm not marking it off yet because it's not the end of 2019 yet, and I want to make sure I continue that throughout the rest of the year. So little things like that where it looks like, I only have 4 things done, but really I'm really close on a lot of these little goals. All right, then we have more daily pages. And one thing I want to note, these tasks that have the little stars next to them, they are actually from my 30 Better Days list. So what I would do is at the end of the night, I would write in what my one little mini goal or mini task was for the next day, and then move it to my daily page for the next day and put a star next to it. So I know that's important for me to get done in order to keep up with my 30 Better Days. And then once that item was complete, I would check it off here the following day. So I hope that helps to kind of explain how that works together. This little mandala here, which I love, was another thing where I was like, I don't want to be super decorative, but I kind of wanted a little something. And I used my Mandala Stencil. This is the stencil that came in the November Boho Berry box, which is unfortunately as of today sold out. So if you got one, I'm excited for you because I love this little stencil. But I just used this and a Tombow marker. I don't have the specific one that I used, but I just took the brush end and I laid it down. I actually washi taped it down so it wouldn't move, and I just kind of colored in the stencil. And it turned out really pretty, and I used a light gray so I could still write over it and still have use of the entire page. All right, so we have more and more daily pages. I think right about here, yeah, right around here is when I started using my Tombow Fudenosuke little brush tip pen for my headers. In the past, I've always done kind of a faux calligraphy, like basically all of these are faux calligraphy. And all of these up here and that. All of those were faux calligraphy, but I really wanted to start practicing with the Fudenosuke for my daily headers. So I did that. I'm still not super good at it. I'm much better at brush lettering on my iPad, but I'm getting the hang of it and I'm really enjoying it. More daily pages, and you'll see this is Friday when we left for Seattle, and then I didn't have any other entries because I didn't take my bullet journal with me until Tuesday when we were back. And then on Tuesday also I decided to do a Seattle recap page. So this is where I recapped what we actually did every single day that we were there. All right, so we got more dailies, and then we are at November. So you'll see in a second why I didn't want to film a plan with me for November, and that's really because I have 1 spread, 2 spreads, and 3, and that's it. That's all that I set up for November. So I have my traditional monthly log on the left here, and it already looks like a pretty crazy busy month. So I wrote in everything that I have coming up this month, and then on the tasks side, let me get back to October here. On the tasks side, I migrated everything from my task list in October that had not been completed. So you'll see it's the ones with the little arrows here. So I migrated those forward first, And then I drew a line to kind of delineate for myself that these are tasks that I did not get done last month. So I might want to start tackling these first. And then I have my new tasks that I've added on for November under that. The next page is my NaNoWriMo 2018 word tracker. And yes, I am participating in NaNoWriMo again this year, even though I haven't really said much about it. For those of you that don't know, NaNoWriMo is short for National Novel Writing Month. You can learn more at nanowrimo.org. But basically, it's a challenge to write a 50,000 word first draft of a novel in 30 days. And I've done this every year since 2016. In 2016, I only managed to write 28,000 words. Last year, I won, meaning I wrote a full 50K. And this year, I'm actually going to be what NaNoWriMo calls a rebel, because I am not writing a new novel. I'm going back to my current novel that I've been working on for these past 2 Novembers already, and I'm actually throwing it all into Scrivener, which is basically a super, super fancy word processor, because all of my novel so far is completely handwritten. So this year, my plan is to get everything transferred into Scrivener, meaning I'm going to sit with my notebook open next to my laptop and copy everything over and basically start the editing process for my book. So that's not technically the way that NaNoWriMo is supposed to be done, which is why I am technically a rebel, but I am really, really excited. I am still going to track my word count progress for the month. I'm basically going to track by how many words I have transferred over into Scrivener. And I do have a feeling that even though I have a total of like 88,000, give or take a few words so far in the past 2 years, I have a feeling I'm still going to struggle to get to 50,000 when I transfer everything over, because I am going to be kind of editing myself along the way as I transfer everything over. So I have a pretty strong feeling that I'm still going to be left with around 50,000 words at the end of November, and then we'll kind of go from there and see what happens. There might be areas that I want to expand on. There might be things I want to get rid of altogether. So it's going to be an interesting challenge this year, but I'm really, really excited about it. All right, and then finally, on my very last page that I set up for November is my gratitude log. This I'm leaving completely blank, and I think I'm going to leave the whole entire spread blank and start my dailies on the next spread. I'm kind of leaving this free form. I don't know if I'm going to do like my doodle gratitude log like I've done in the past, or if I'm just going to write out things that I'm grateful for every day. I'm really not sure how I'm going to approach it yet, so I'm just kind of leaving it until I'm really inspired for how I want it to go. And then the last thing, since I mentioned it, I'm probably going to restart my 30 Better Days tracker. Maybe I'll do it on this page and just keep this one page for gratitude. I don't know yet. I'll figure it out and I'll let y'all know. All right, so I'm going to put my bookmark back here for November, and then here for my current page. And that is pretty much it. That is my update, everything that's been going on and my setup for November. I am really, really excited about moving forward in this bullet journal. I've really been enjoying the simplicity of just going in with a black pen, and now 2 black pens, one for my headers and one for writing. Digitally, again, I'm doing most of my big project planning there, so I'm going to have a video on that pretty soon for y'all to kind of show you how that's been working out for me. And then, yeah, NaNoWriMo-wise, I am super excited to dive in. That's actually what I'm going to do after I post this video, is get to work on my novel, because today is November 1st. Happy NaNoWriMo Day, everyone. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. I'm sorry if it was a little long. I feel like I had a lot to update you guys on. But if you have any questions, comments, as always, drop them down below. I will do my best to get down there and answer everybody. And yeah, I hope you have a great and wonderful rest of your week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.